in RDBMS terms is also called as an entity. Okay, another very common question of interview, right? So instead of directly asking you, can you explain what is a table? The other person might ask, what is an entity? And trust me, I've seen a lot of people are not able to recall that entity is nothing but a table. So entity in RDBMS terms is also defined as any real world object. So entity in RDBMS terms is also called as what? Any real world object about which you can gather information. Okay. So what is that? It's basically a set of rows and columns, right? You're collecting data about it. So columns are, I hope you all understand what is column, right? EID is the column here, ename is the column, salary is a column. Yes, and row is what? The actual data, right? 1A 100, 2B 100, 2B 200. Are we clear on what is the table? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is the speed fine? Anyone feeling that I'm going fast?
Oh, no, sir.
No, sir.
Fine, sir.
Perfect. Now, since we all are students, right? So, and when we go into the interviews, what also matters is your general knowledge, right? And since it's an RDBMS subject, you also need to have some general knowledge on what are the most popular RDBMS available in the market and which company owns them, right? Whether they are licensed or they are free, right? So, first name that comes to anyone's minds when we are talking about RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, is of course Oracle. I'm sure no matter whether you are from the IT background or non-IT background, you all would have heard the term Oracle somewhere or the other, right? So Oracle is the most popular RDBMS and it's owned by Oracle and it's a licensed RDBMS. So if you have to use Oracle, you have to pay money to Oracle to use Oracle. Okay. The second very common RDBMS is SQL Server. And in fact, Oracle is so advanced that Oracle, along with RDBMS feature, also has object-oriented features. What do you mean by object-oriented features? It does have properties like inheritance, function overloading, and all those things, right? Object-oriented programming. So, in fact, it has gone one step further, and Oracle claimed that they are actually ORDBMS. Okay. And then the second one, as I was telling you, is SQL Server. SQL Server is also a licensed RDBMS and it is owned by Microsoft. So Microsoft is the company which owns SQL Server. Very, very popular RDBMS. I mean, in all the scenarios, you compare Oracle with SQL Server. You are asking any question?
No, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can you please explain the ORDBMS? I don't get it. What objects and
See, RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System.
no, sir. ORD.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. O stands for Object Oriented Relational Object Oriented Programming. I am assuming you all have gone through object oriented programming. The features of object oriented programming. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is inheritance? What is function overloading? Polymorphism and all those things. Right? So Oracle supports some of the features of object-oriented programming. So that's why, along with RDBMS, they are also supporting object-oriented programming, and that's why Oracle is referred as ORDBMS. Okay, because it has the features of object-oriented programming as well.
Okay. Thank you.
So SQL is owned by Microsoft and it's an licensed RDBMS. The third one is DB2. DB2 is owned by which company? IBM. It's also an licensed RDBMS. Then there is a different categories of RDBMS, which is big data RDBMS. So under big data RDBMS, see why I'm calling them as big data RDBMS, because they are capable of handling terabytes and petabytes of data. They use a technology which is mass MPP and distributed processing. Okay. What is MPP? Anyone knows?
No, sir.
MPP means massively parallel processing, and TP is distributed processing. So in this, you are basically creating nodes. Your data is stored on multiple nodes. You might have 100 different servers running in parallel for Teradata. So if you have 1 terabyte of data, that 1 terabyte of data is distributed as 10 GB of data on each node. So you are running 100 nodes in parallel to process your 1 terabyte of data. So that's why it gives you very high-end performance, and even like processing 1 terabyte or 1 petabytes of data is pretty fast because you're having multiple servers running in parallel. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of people will go through the Hadoop training as well, right?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Some of you, right?
Yeah.
So they'll understand the concept of MPP and distributed processing. Okay, so the common tools which support big data RDBMS are what? Teradata. The company name is also Teradata. Okay. Greenplum is owned by Pivotal. Greenplum is owned by Pivotal, and Pivotal was taken over by EMC. So EMC Square has taken over Greenplum now. So Greenplum RDBMS is a big data RDBMS which is owned by EMC Square. EMC Square is the name of the company. Snowflake is another big data RDBMS and it's owned by Snowflake. Name of the company is also Snowflake. Amazon Redshift, it's a RDBMS available on which technology?
AWS.
AWS. Okay, and it's owned by AWS.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes.
Among these all things, which one is most preferable in industry right now?
I mean, it's not like that, right? It all depends. These are all very, very popular RDBMS, right? You will decide whether to go for Oracle SQL or DB2 versus big data. If your data is not very big and it's like a traditional application, you will go for one of these databases, Oracle SQL or DB2. But it's a big data RDBMS, you have to choose one of this, right? If it's a NoSQL database, you have to go for MongoDB, Cassandra or something. Now, between Oracle SQL and DB2, how would you decide whether to go for Oracle SQL or DB2, right? Number of things comes into picture, right? You first see which features you need, because Oracle might have some features which are not there in SQL Server, right? Or vice versa. Second is what type of technologies you are already using. So if your company is a Microsoft platform, right? You're using Windows, you're using SharePoint, you're using a lot of technologies which are related to Microsoft, right? Then most probably you'll go for SQL Server because that suits well for your company. But you are someone who is using Linux, Unix, using a lot of technologies related to Unix and Linux, then you may want to go for Oracle. Whereas if you're using a lot of IBM technologies, then you may want to go for DB2. Why? Because if I'm already a customer of Microsoft, they'll end up giving me huge discounts on SQL Server licensing because they would want to use SQL Server also. So it also depends on the cost, right? Because Oracle is a very costly RDBMS. SQL Server is little cheaper than Oracle. DB2 is highly cheaper. So it depends, like your business account has got some relationship with the owner of the RDBMS and they're giving you good discounts, right? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
But in general, yes, 70% clients are using Oracle, 20-30% are using SQL Server, hardly 5% or 10% are using. So Oracle is very popular, SQL Server is second popular, and then DB2 and others are like not that popular. There is one more way you can decide, right? Suppose you are working on a project, you don't have cost available, you don't have budget available, and you want to use RDBMS, right? You want to use something which is available free of cost. So your option is Postgres or MySQL. So Postgres and MySQL are two open source databases. So if you don't have any budget left, the only option is to go for either Postgres or MySQL.